welcome to another edition of P&B Sports Show. I'm your host, Abel Sunday. Today, we will look at Bournemouth 1-1 draw against Manchester City and Chelsea 2-1 win over Tottenham Hotspur in the London Derby. Joining me from the ancient city of Benin is the sport abracadabra of sport, John. We will break down all the action and major talking points. Grab your teacup because P&B Sports start now this morning. Eric, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good morning, Mr.
Good morning. How is the ancient city doing this morning?
Yeah, the ancient city of Benin is very fine this morning.
Eric, what a moment yesterday with the Manchester City drew against Bournemouth 1-1, and to that effect, we have a new champion of the Premier League after 22 years. Mikel Arteta finally won a trophy. From your own end, how will you describe that for Mikel Arteta?
That indeed was a moment of reward for Mikel Arteta and his men at Arsenal. That indeed was a testament of consistent resilience, consistent hard work, and consistent trials for about 4 consecutive seasons to finish second on the table. They got nicknamed the Butlers FC. They record many names, even by myself. They record cost. They record a team that was not ready to compete, a team that wasn't ready. At some point, some of us were until Arteta expired, and all of those things. But then yesterday, they brought an end to all of that. Yesterday, they are claiming the Premier League title, brought an end to all of that. That is a testament that when you consistently pursue something, when you are resilient on your pursuits, at the end of the day, victory is always assured. Kudos to Arsenal, kudos to Mikel Arteta, kudos to the team, kudos to the management, the patience, kudos to the fans. I mean, it's not easy being an Arsenal fan. So there are some Arsenal fans that yesterday was the first time they ever witnessed Arsenal winning the Premier League trophy. Because I mean, the last one that was in 2004, 22 years after. That's not a child's play, that's not a joke. My other sister was not born after the last time Arsenal won the Premier League. So it's a good one for the team, it's a good one for the Arteta, it's a good one for the fans. Kudos to them. As much as it doesn't make some of us happy because we are rivals, but then again we have to comment this.
What a story. The runner-up royalty became the crown champion of Premier League. Definitely we call them royalty. Why do we say that? Because they've taken second for consecutive time, more than the number of times that they might have won. Let me not go there because my in-law is also an Arsenal fan. Make it only circumvent them too much. but let's focus on the game yesterday. What really went wrong? We saw Manchester City side were just for. In fact, I don't know what happened to the build-up of Pep Guardiola. The blueprint. Can we say that Bournemouth knew exactly what to do to Manchester City when they go into that game yesterday? Considering the fact that two of them they're also fighting for a space in Europe.
I think Bournemouth needed it more. Bournemouth showed a better resilience. It showed, I always tell you something. That football, for me, is a game of who wants more at the end of the day. Bournemouth was fighting for a place in Europe. They needed to go to Europe. Manchester was fighting for a place to close the gap and win the Premier League trophy. So it was a game of two teams that needed something. But Bournemouth showed a better resilience. I have always complained about it. There was something I said sometime on the show. I got vindicated yesterday. I said the title is still Arsenal's story. I don't think the title is in the hands of Manchester City because they are inconsistent too. They have been inconsistent. The day they drew Everton 1-1, that was when I knew that this stuff is gone. It was just from the place of rivalry and banter. I was still having a 1% on that. Any magic could have happened. Because how do you say you're trying to close and overtake another team, and you are drawing at home to Everton? They are coming from behind to get the draw. We saw the same thing play out again yesterday. You are losing points in crucial encounters for a team that wants to compete. You are trailing 2 points behind the team, and you are losing in the first half. But I don't know what happened to them yesterday. I think they lost focus. I don't know whether the news of February because his performance, whether it made them lose a certain level of focus, I don't know. But then somebody said Pep Guardiola allowed Mikel Arteta to win because he's leaving. So he finally left the battle for the strong and sporty. That's how they like to feel. But I think that they not so focused yesterday. They lost focus and composure as compared to the game, and now God cost them the win.
But saying that the news of Pep Guardiola leaving might demoralize the Manchester City side, but I don't think I will agree with you, because even the players knew that Pep Guardiola will not finish, will not will not be there at the end of affairs next season with the body, in fact, with the body language and everything. The players, I think they knew. But let me come to you with this. Are we seeing a lack of clinical urgency in this Manchester City side when teams decide to play them very low block? Because if you remember the other team, the other time that we don't even have the likes of Erling Haaland, and the team performed very very well. And anytime they play so low block with Erling Haaland, and I think the Erling Haaland cannot really force his way in. But I just want to get your own angle of this.
Okay, this for me is rather from a tactical perspective. And like you said, I agree with you. Erling Haaland doesn't really try so much on things that they don't know. I would rather prefer an Omar Mamouche to lead the lineup. I explained this the last time we talked about Omar Mamouche. You see, Omar Mamouche has a better ball retention ability than Erling Haaland for me. This is my opinion. Anybody can bet to differ. He has a better ball. And when you play against teams that play low block, because they shift back, they don't come out to play. They are not interested in the ball. They are rather interested in defending themselves so that you don't get to score. You need players that have very good ball retention abilities, players that have very good hold up play. They emphasis on very good hold up play that can bring out these players to create space for other players. I think the only place Erling Haaland is important for him. Elihan has good physical presence and he has good hold of play. The vector of the fact that he can be able to hold the ball because of his speed, because of his stature, because of his strength. He can be able to drop players to himself. But when it comes to ball retention, I don't think he has that so much of an ability. He is not interested in being a goal pusher, in being a target for and scoring goals, rather than these other details. That's why I think Pep Guardiola should have picked Omar Mamouche instead. Because Omar Mamouche can hold the ball, he can press player, he can dribble very well. And the other is good, but I don't think he's so much of a brilliant dribbler. So, because you are playing against the bottom side of the strike down, this is a team that is shooting. So, you have to still be your best. I would have preferred him playing Haaland and Omar Mamouche to lead the attacking lineup as against what he decided to do. So yes, in my opinion, I think they missed right there at that point in time. Or maybe just maybe Pep Guardiola did not think that Bonema could come out to play a completely no block tactical setup.
But again, when you see the midfield was totally fatigued, invisibly fatigued, why did Pep Guardiola delay his substitution? Why didn't just because after that after he made those changes, we see the pressing start. I'm talking about the second half now. You see the pressing, and that was where we could be able to see a goal came back late on. But why did he delay for that substitution when he found out that okay, his midfield is really not that not controlling the game as it's supposed to be?
You know, there's one thing that I've always said about Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola is an overthinker. After he's also an overthinker. Guardiola is an overthinker. He tends to in this state. I don't know if you get my point. A lot of things are Real Madrid, down to Chelsea, and now to Manchester. It's just a good scorer. He's not, Kovacic is not a playmaker. The only playmaker that started that attacking line was Bernardo Silva. And we all know that Bernardo Silva is not in the same game. Recently, we have seen Pep Guardiola deploying a more defensive role where he plays deep and tries to play long ball. So, how do you have Rodri and you have Kovacic in the same midfield? You have putting an old and weak Bernardo Silva to lead the attacking and to create spaces. That's not going to work. That's certainly not going to work. But you saw when the likes of Turkey came in, the likes of Omar Mahmoud came in, the likes of Odi came in, the game began open because they are more attacking minded players, they are more offensive players who have better abilities and better prospects to cause attacking threats to the opponent. And so the fact that Rodri, Kovacic, Shakti, that's two defensive midfielders already in the game, you have weakened your attacking setup on your own. That gives government even a more relaxed state to do the damages.
Well said, Eru.
I think Pep Guardiola was just overthinking, and I don't know what he was really plotting. In fact, he started the game with a 4-1-4-1 communication. What exactly is that?
For me,
Rodri and allow Kovacic to advance. How Kovacic to do attacking wise? Even the few games that Kovacic can score is just maybe 1 to 20 games. How many assists does Kovacic give? How many attacking plays does he create? No, I think Pep Guardiola got that wrong, and that cost him.
yeah, for me, I think the man has won two trophies, two silverware this season already, and he feels that, of course, this is at least, even if he's living now, he's living on a very high. Let me just leave it, just like what you already said earlier. Let me just leave it for my boy. Let my boy just at least, this is the only chance. I think, to be honest, I think this is the closest Arsenal can get. I don't think next season it will be easy for Arsenal. To be honest, I don't think it's going to be easy for Arsenal next season when we are seeing this like of Xabi Alonso already back. We are seeing the like of Michael Carrick, but we don't know because interim management and also full-time job is two different things entirely. Who knows? Who knows what will happen when next season starts again? I'm talking about Michael Carrick, but I'm not saying I'm a prophet of doom now. I'm not saying that he's going to do anything wrong or going to go bad or the season will go sour for him. But let's cross over to Stamford Bridge. You guys won yesterday, 2-1. Beautiful. Yeah. all blues. The sky was blue yesterday, and that moved you to, I think, 8th position. That victory alone moved you to 8th position, which put you in a very good position to see if you can maybe sneak into any of these European spots. I'm talking about next season now. But with yesterday, and you see Chelsea performance yesterday, can you say McFarlane has really done something well after when he was appointed as interim manager?
Okay, first off, let me establish. To go to Europe. I think I've told you before. I don't want to go to Europe. There's nothing we have to do. Let us be Manchester. What the role Manchester United play, let us play that role yesterday. Let us remain in England. Let's focus. Thank God we have a new coach. Let him have enough time to focus on the league. That's notwithstanding. And yes, to answer your question, I think McFarlane has done his job. The job he was appointed for. I told you something on the day he was appointed. I said I was not expecting so much from him. Yes, as I could say, being that in my own opinion, because he hasn't got enough experience to lead a team as Chelsea, a team that comes with so much responsibility, a team that has so much pressure, that gives so much pressure, a team that has so much expectation, that leaves him with so many buckets, so many boxes to tick. But overall, I'm going to rate him 6/10. I'll give him 6. So I'll give him something over 10. Tottenham is a regular customer to Chelsea, as they have seen in recent seasons. Whether good or bad, we always have a way of over. In fact, I'm glad this season we did them also have a way. So it says in Chelsea and Tottenham history. But then again, I'm going to give kudos to him. I'm going to give kudos to him. That was a very brilliant performance yesterday. I was not expecting anything as much as that. Even if I know Tottenham is not from a very good note this season, they've been struggling. In fact, they are taking their relegation battle down to the last day of the season. But then again, kudos to McFarlane. He has, to me, in my own opinion, he has done his job. Yes, he may have lost the FA Cup final, but even the best of managers have just would have lost that final to Manchester City also. That again. I rather play the player. We have so many lackadaisical and serious players to think that they should be evacuated to move forward. But overall, I'll give it a 6 or 7 over 10. In my own opinion, in my book, he has done his job. I give him his flowers. Kudos to him. If he has taken over long before now, we should not have taken up issues as I did.
And that bring this conversation. A lot of people were saying, had it been Enzo Maresca was still with the team would have been somewhere better than where, because when he left, the team were I think among the top 4 or top 5. Assume my calculation are correct.
Yeah,
but
we are still part of the team when Enzo Maresca.
Yes, before he left. Then when your Renault Simon, Abi, how do you people call him, came in, when you say he's a PhD teacher, when he came in, it becomes worse. It becomes so worse. But the red card yesterday, the referee lose control of emotion or intensity of this London derby. Because I don't know, from your own end, do you see that red card that is worth it?
I think the red card was a bit too harsh. I'm going to be very sincere. I think it was a bit too harsh. I don't think that red card should have been given. I strongly agree with you. I think emotional and lost control of the game. Which is, this brings me down to the problem I have always said, and I will continue saying it of their state. The English Premier League, they are very inconsistent in officiating. Very, very, in fact, I take in my own opinion that PGMOL is the most inconsistent officiating body I have ever come across in my entire existence. They are very inconsistent. Policies, their rules, their regulations, their guidelines, everything is inconsistent. What is a foul today? In fact, what is a foul in 12:30 early kickoff match may not be a foul in a 3 p.m. match. What is a red card in a 5 p.m. match may not be a red card in a 6 p.m. match. And so it makes you begging. Now, share the red card you gave yesterday. You okay, that was too bad. I think that was not clear. I don't personally, I'm speaking on my own perspective. I'm not here, but in my own opinion, I think there were better ways to have handled that. A caution or even. I don't think, I personally do not think that red card was good.
If you, to be honest, you will ask yourself if the referee association, if they actually do a review of probably their dealings, maybe end of the season, maybe they'll do a review and say, okay, how can we do better? Because if every season people are complaining, or fans will complain about officiating at this level, then there's a problem. Because I think there should be even introducing VAR, still yet the something is still not that okay. But as we wrap up with this quickly in 1 minute, Xabi Alonso coming in with the squad you have, who do you think you need to bring in, or which area do you think he need to strengthen? Quickly in 1 minute as we wrap up.
First of all, Garnacho.
But Garnacho, you people be there for Garnacho, you struggled and you paid a whipping sum for Garnacho.
We have in our books, we are breaking that as a bad market, bad something. Time to let him go. We are not with blessing for his effort and doing the game. But to answer your question very quickly in 2 seconds, I think some players need to leave. They need to leave. They are not ready to take them back. Then, like the board has promised Xabi Alonso, I really pray the keep to that promise. They promised him at least 4 experienced players. That is one thing the Chelsea should have lacked over time. Yes, I understand that the project for the division was to build a young and formidable team. But even in that, we need some experienced players. That is what the policy at Arsenal. But you see, at the time, there was a Thomas Partey who was an experienced player in the team. At the time, there was a Declan Rice. You need a bit of this. You cannot just have a crop of 21, 22-year-old players every year and expect them to perform badly. They need to be guided. You see the kind of role that we have for Casemiro plays at Manchester United. At the time, let me take a back there. When we had Thiago Silva lining up and leading the defense line, it was not coordinated because as much as the other players around him were very young, there was an elderly man in front who had no experience and was able to talk to the staff. But when you have a couple of 21-year-old players. You now make another 21-year-old player their captain. How do you expect him to lead? He also needs to be led. He also needs to be carried along. So I think what we need, I'm not going to mention specific things, but we need a couple of experienced players, especially in our defense and in the midfield, especially the defensive line and the midfield. Players that can coordinate the team and other players. That's exactly what I think we are working with to take the book to commission.
On that note, I want to wish Chelsea all the best next season. I hope they win the Premier League next season with Xabi Alonso. That's all we can. Okay, that's all we can take on PRB Sports Show today. Big thanks to our guests from the ancient city of Benin, the Abracadabra of Sports, Erujon, for joining us. Thank you so much, Erujon.
Thank you very much for having me. And if you have anybody that is a national fan, ask them for money.
My in-law is a national fan, so already I've got to drag something from him today, hopefully. All right, you can follow us on all our social media platforms, on YouTube and Facebook at Politics&BusinessTV.English, on IG at PRBTV_English, on X at PRBTV_ENG. Coming up next is The Voices with Madina Azaki. I'm Abel Sunday. Thanks for watching and goodbye.